right, thanks for joining us and staying with us here on Prime Morning. We're going all the way till 10 a.m. this morning, so please do stay. We've got lots and lots of conversations coming up here on the show. We'll start off with News Flash. It's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phones pop up path here. This morning, I'm asking you to just go to any of our branches and buy from us. All your home appliances, you can buy them from Franco Trading Enterprise. CCTV cameras that can monitor your homes and your offices when you're not around. You can do so anytime, anywhere on your phone, and you're good to go. Television sets, we've got them from 35 to 100 inches. You can also come and see them for yourself. And also your phones, if you're thinking of changing them, and not just Samsung, any type you want, walk into Franco Trading Enterprise and make a change. Call us on the numbers you're seeing on your screens, and also you can download the app. It's the Franco Trading app. It's on Google Play Store. Our website is www.francotrading.com, and you can also check out our branches over there. Please call the numbers you see on your screens, and do not call any other number on social media. Please call the numbers that you see on your screens, and you can buy from us at any time. We're grateful to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning for making it possible for us to have this conversation. We check out the front pages of the newspapers and what they're reporting this morning. I've got my guests seated. We're looking at two major issues, and it has to do with the CJ, who is asking the Supreme Court to actually halt the process that seeks to remove her from office. We'll be looking at that here on the show. And also, the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has admitted that his office, his government, inherited nearly $9 billion reserve. Now, we'll be looking at that. And it's occurring conversations that has been going on over the period, all right? But let me introduce my guest in the studio, and then we'll check the front page of the newspapers. Lawyer Kwame Jantua took a couple of days off by the grace of the Almighty God and His mercies. He's back again, a returnee, maybe, just maybe. He's a senior member of the CPP, and many of you are still thinking that he will one day wake up and belong to NPP or NDC, which will never happen.
Please.
Well, you know your people already.
Don't put things in people's mind. Don't put things in. Good morning to our viewers. Good morning, Ishak.
Good to have you.
Good morning to you, KMJ. And to all our cameramen this morning. I'm CPP.
Well, he didn't answer. Also joining us for the first time, and we're hoping to retain him here as much as we can, is Ishak Ibrahim, Esquire, and he is a lecturer at the UPSC Law and a member of the NPP Legal Directorate, and this is his first time over here, so welcome you.
Thank you
so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, and then good morning to my senior colleague here.
Good morning.
And good morning to the rest of viewers across the country. As you rightly say, yes, today is my first day in Joy Prime, though I've been going to
Joy News.
Joy News, yes. And I'm glad to be here.
Great. I'm grateful for your time this morning. We're also going to be joined by David T.D. Vondee. He's the MP for Chifu at Mokwa. When he comes, we'll introduce him as well, and then we'll make some progress. But this morning, let's check out the front pages of the newspapers real quick. Daily Graphic is here, and it says, Governor explains economic gains, and it has Dr. Johnson Pandeda Siama, the Bank of Ghana governor, over there, and he speaks on that issue. And CJ impeachment, Supreme Court throws out another injunction. Page 13 has got a story on that as well. And removal of beggars. Ghana Immigration Service repatriates 925 people. Arrest put on hold for lack of space. And yesterday, I think a couple of days back, I had the amnesty conversation around this and whether these kids are given proper shelter, food, and all of that. And that's also another conversation that I'm sure would even, contribute to the halt on the arrests. But 925 of them have been repatriated. Now, away from that, also, drivers, commuters react to 15% fare reduction. Page back page has got the story on that, so you can read about it. And Accra's decongestion, regional minister to reactivate task force. That's also reported by the Daily Graphic this morning. Away from that, let's check the Chronicle newspaper, and it says Justice Tokonu sues AG, Puamang and others, and that's one of the issues, the major issues that we're talking about today. Agrada laughs over Empress Gifty's 200 billion Ghana cedis lawsuit referring to. That's also captured by the Chronicle. Echo Group CEO awarded honorary doctorate degree, and it's got my uncle over there, Mr. George Oti Bonsu. One amazing and incredible human being. Congratulations to you, Mr. George Oti Bonsu. He's been awarded an honorary doctorate degree, and he's the CEO of Echo Group. God bless you. God bless you, my one and only uncle. Now, Lands Minister asked Lands Commission to decentralize operations within 2 months. That's also captured by the Chronicle this morning. And at the back page, if you're a sports fan, you can get some sports details over there, including Ronaldo's son, who scored first goal for Portugal and Bellingham to miss start of season after shoulder surgery, and also some other stories that you can find. Now, away from that, the overseer and the Supreme Court dismissed injunction against CJ's removal in 4-1 ruling. Sami Jemfi credit city gains to government actions and no fees stress. Over 41,000 students complete registration. Kwachifosu has been reporting on that. He's in charge of Minister for Government Communications. And IT expert in government, economists in opposition, Solomon Osu slams Bawumia. And NHIA disburses additional 259 million in claims within 21 days. And away from that, JK Hoggle Transport and Co. Limited, also named the world best petroleum transporter. That's also captured by the overseer there. Citizen is here this morning, and it says 140,246 people in Ashanti region have hypertension. Wow. Ghana Health Services revealing on this, and page 8 has got a story on that. Don't renew Jato's contract, government advised. And Cosmos Damien Hospital abetted conveyed to escape jail, and fight against illegal mining cannot be achieved without chief's support, says the DCE. And yesterday we had an extensive conversation on the issue of illegal mining in Galamsey, and Erastus coming out with another expose yesterday, and we had that conversation on that yesterday. Election fraud allegations rock a half North Municipal Assembly, and Ghana Gold Board to curb smuggling, boost forex and stabilize city. Finance Minister, minority raises alarm, electricity crisis, roads confidence in economics promises, and tax seasons opportunity to select USA 2025 with New Mexico's Mesos Gateway. And Volta Region Council of State member donates relief items to victims of tidal waves. And Ghana Water Company MD admits no contract was signed with Dubois, no money paid to him. That's also captured by the Supreme newspaper this morning. On the back page, you've got Honorable Eric Edem Agbana, MP for K2 North, captured over there for his appointment as successful inauguration as board member of the Electricity Company of Ghana. All right, so those are some stories you can catch when you grab any of these newspapers this morning, and you can read about it. Don't forget that there's still ongoing decongestion exercise that is happening in the capital, and I'm sure today we'll bring you some updates on that as well. But let's start off with the issue of CJ, who's suing the entire process that has to do with her removal from office. Now, the suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Esaba Saki Tekono has filed an application at the Supreme Court seeking to restrain a committee set up by the President, John Dramani Mahama, to investigate petitions seeking her removal from office. In the suit filed on Wednesday, May 21, 2025, the Chief Justice is requesting an interlocutory injunction to halt all proceedings of the committee pending the final determination of the case. According to the court document obtained, the Chief Justice wants the Supreme Court to issue an order restraining the 6-member committee composed of Justices Gabriel Scott Puamanga and Samuel Kwame Adebu Esiedu, as well as Daniel Yademovo, Major Flora Bazuwara, and also Professor James Sefa Jiasa, from proceeding with any injury related to the petitions brought against her. Now, don't forget that in the earlier suit, the court actually also dismissed, it was a 4-1 majority decision, a case that was filed by the Center for Citizenship, Constitutional and Electoral Systems, CES, that sought to also reverse President Mohammed's suspension of the Chief Justice and all the work of the committee set up to consider possible removal from office. Now, yesterday, the Attorney General was speaking on this issue. He just decided to represent the Chief Justice. Exactly. And he was asked whether it was the Chief Justice that called him to do this job. He says that that's confidentiality of client, and he would not really speak about it. But a lot of people have raised concerns about it. I mean, Dr. Kwesi Ansari was also on the show as well and also raised concern about why the Attorney General has decided to go in this move. But did we have to get to this point where the Chief Justice is going right now?
No, we shouldn't. Yes, so thank you and good morning once again to the good people of Ghana. You see, if you see the beginning of this, well, I'll call it crisis, up to this particular point, you could see that some people have made up their mind that the Chief Justice needs to go, and they will do everything possible to remove it. Why am I saying that? Even in opposition, they talk down the judiciary. I believe it was their talking down of the judiciary by the NDC was why the Afrobarometer report were expressing that kind of more or less saying the judiciary is more or less like a write-off because no confidence at all in the judiciary. And I think that is very, very dangerous. And whilst they were were a lot of number of statements that had been made that we knew that if the NDC is getting the opportunity, they were going to destroy our judiciary. And that is exactly what they're doing.
That's what the NPP saw right from the onset.
Yes. That's exactly what they're doing. Why am I saying so? President Mahama himself had expressed interest that the judiciary were basically members of the NPP and advised NDC lawyers to pursue to pursue careers in the judiciary.
Was that the case?
So that they will be appointed. He said it.
Like, was that the case from your perspective?
Yes, I mean, we heard it from the horse's own mouth.
Yes, but
the president himself,
what the case was? Or he was just...
No, I'm building up why
politics.
The Chief Justice. No, he wasn't talking politics.
But was the judiciary filled with a lot of NPP?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But that is the perception of the president. The president made it very clear that the judiciary was mostly NPP members, and the NDC lawyers should pursue careers in the judiciary,
and the NPP
so that they will be appointed. We heard that. And then we also heard the Speaker of Parliament, who is a known NDC. In fact, he had contested for NDC presidential primaries before. And what did he say? Somewhere October, September last year. He said that the Supreme Court judges was in bed with the president, the then president, who was Nana Akufo-Addo, and that they were sinning against the Constitution and they needed to repent. That was in reference to the crisis that we had when they tried to steal Parliament as majority. That couldn't happen. So we know that the current speaker with the current president have issues with the judiciary. The chairman of the NDC, Asedin Ketia, expressed similar sentiments. And he said they need to change the composition of the judiciary.
And these were all their perceptions.
Mustafa Bande, I've heard him.
Not facts. These were all their perceptions and not facts.
Well, what is perception? If somebody had this perception and you now hand over power to him, what do you think he would do? If somebody had this perception, as we say, justice doesn't have to be done. It has to be seen to be done. This is a very important principle.
Yeah.
And the Constitution is even talk about judicial impartiality. So if you have somebody who have these beliefs or perceptions about the judiciary, and you are now giving power to him with a very flawed Constitution, I call it a very flawed Constitution because look at Article 146. If you look at Montesquieu principle of separation of powers and check and balances, that each of these branches should be seen to be equal. Because the safeguarding the liberty of the individual is very, very paramount. Now, and the Constitution itself emphasizes on what? Judicial independence. And yet, Article 146 seems to be very flawed because it makes the head of one branch to be much more involved in removing without any proper...
But it's also believed that the processes have been followed through. I mean, if you check from where it started...
Yes. And that is why I tell you that...
The NPP has not been able to bring even one law.
That is not really true. A lot of people have mentioned about Article 296. 296. I mean, it is flawed because it makes it possible for the removal of the CJ to be easy. That's why it is flawed. The removal of the president is very difficult. You need 2/3 majority of parliament to say yes before the president can be impeached. But a CJ, which is a co-equal branch to the president, at least according to legal and political theory, is much more easier to be removed by the president together with the Council of State.
But the executive power hasn't bent the law in any way.
We have just told you Article 296 was engaged. A lot of people have argued about Article 296. That says that those involved, the decision makers, need to do so unbiased. And that if you are not a lawyer, you need to publish the guideline in advance as to how you are going to make your decision. Those side has not been.
So the composition of these people are biased?
Of course, the president. I've just told you how we can see how biased he is. I've just told you he has made statements about the judiciary, how he wants to change the composition. And how best can you change things than to go for the head of the judiciary, to remove her? So we know that this is a preconceived matter. Go to Facebook pages of NDC communicators and some of their leaders. They say the removal of the Chief Justice is a done deal and that the Electoral Commission is next. So this is already a preconceived idea. And if you look at the reasons that have been put forward, they are so frivolous that no reasonable person could found a prima facie case in those particular things. The Chief Justice was involved in the dismissal of a gentleman because he was consistently late, and therefore she needs to be removed. What happened to the employment law? The guy can get engaged with the employment law to get a redress. And then the frivolous one is the fact that somebody is claiming their human rights was violated by the Chief Justice during their hearing because of certain statement the Chief Justice made. What happened to Article 33 of the 1992 Constitution? Seek a redress in the High Court. So some of these things, they are just frivolous, fictitious things created to get her removal. Okay. And now let's engage in what the newspapers are saying today. 2 judges have now been seen together with the lawyer for the petitioners, having a dinner or being together. I don't really get the full picture, but what we are told is that they were seen together. It's a stick-up. The Chief Justice is entitled to say, this is a stick-up. Why are they doing that? Look, the common law is very clear about this particular case. One very prominent case I can cite from even the UK that emphasized the common law, which is part of our constitution. So sometimes when we talk about this and try to give example from the other common law country, people say, what about Ghana? There are good examples in Ghana, but the common law, according to Article 11 of the 1992 Constitution, is part of our law. So we can quote them. There is a very popular case, Pinochet, ex-parte Pinochet. I think it's R versus Bow Street Magistrate Court, ex-parte Pinochet, where Lord Hoofman sat in a case, and the wife was a patron to Amnesty International. And General Pinochet, you actually remember, the ex-president of, the former president of Chile, was the one who was being indicted to Spain. And Lord Hoofman sat on the particular case. Meanwhile, those who were bringing the petition, the wife was a patron to Amnesty International, and Amnesty International was bringing the petition. Because he sat in that particular case, the judges made, the House of Lords made it very clear that the justice doesn't have to be done, it has to be seen to be done. And that his involvement in the case more or less muddied the waters. And they set aside the judgment. And they confirmed that that has always been part of the common law, of which we as a country inherited, of which we as a people, Article 11 validated. So if it is you, somebody who is going to sit on your matter, and then you happen to see those people who are going to sit in their matter, together with the person who is opposing you, who is seeking for your removal, what would you say? You probably say this is a stick-up. Why are they together?
Okay.
So the CJ is very right to petition.
Okay.
And I think the president needs to take it seriously, because if we don't take time, we are going to destroy our judiciary. And I think that's what the president is doing.
Okay, well, we're going to get into it and see the involvement of the former Attorney General. But let me get the opinions, remarks on that as well.
Hey, Ishak.
And I'm excited I have two lawyers today, so...
Hey, Ishak. Hey, Ishak, who sent me the voodoo?
You don't agree with him?
Kevin, was there not a process?
Yes, which I mentioned, and he says the process was flawed.
Hang on. Who brought the petition?
There were individuals.
Was it the president?
No.
Okay. So the petition was brought.
Yeah.
If the president had left the petition and did nothing about it, what would we say?
Blame the president for not taking action.
Is there no process in the Constitution that states what the president should do?
Yeah.
Okay. Article 146, which my good brother referred to. 10, clause 10, where, and I quote, where a petition has been referred to a committee under this article, the president may, in the case of the Chief Justice, act in accordance with the advice of the Council of State by warrant signed by him, suspend the Chief Justice. The president has gone through the processes of this petition that was given to him. Has he not gone?
Yeah.
Doesn't the Constitution say that he can suspend the Chief Justice? So, isn't the Chief Justice going ultra-vires to the Constitution? By trying to stop, isn't she?
The process.
Isn't she? It is black and white in the Constitution. So, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Why does, and let me generalize, why does the MPP think, is the president who wants to sack the Chief Justice from her position?
Because they believe it was pre-orchestrated. I mean, right from the onset,
what, the petitions that came in were brought in by the NDC.
Well, they had the intention.
No. Let's go according to the facts.
They had intention.
No. Let's go according to the facts. The petitions that were brought in by the NDC. Yes? Yes?
No, it wasn't.
No. Who brought in the petition? Ordinary Ghanaian.
Yeah.
And the president is supposed to act. And he's acted. Has he done anything ultra-vires to the process? So what are we talking about? Yes, commentary will be passed. If it was them, commentary will be passed by the NDC if they're in opposition. They are doing the same thing. They are playing politics. For me, what I feel should happen, let the Chief Justice go through this process. If it so happens that in the end, she is found not to have done anything ultra-vires, she keeps her job. If it is found that, yes, she did something ultra-vires, then the law takes its turn. What is all the commentary for? I don't understand.
Isn't it the fear that it will happen anyway? Whether she goes through the process or not, we'll get to the point she'll be removed.
Do you know that?
Well,
Do you know whether
I can't tell.
All this we're talking about is commentary. We don't know the fact. We do not know the fact. It's commentary. It is the case that will determine whether the Chief Justice stays or goes. I asked myself the question. The Chief Justice is my good friend. I asked myself the question when I saw this petition by the Chief Justice. What is the reason for?
It was not necessary.
I don't think it was. Let the process take its turn. And if the process takes its turn and everything is fine, you'll be shown to be innocent. All this maneuvering inside, what is the reason for it? What is the reason for it? Let the process take its turn. The president has gone by the Constitution by suspending her. Fair enough. Let the process take its turn. All this, pushing here, I don't want committee. What is the use of that? Because whatever the case is, we shall hear the case. It would happen. Committee or no committee, it will happen. So for me, I would advise my good friend, the Chief Justice, let the process go. Not unless she has information that we don't know. Being the reason why she's putting this petition through. And if there's information we don't know, tell us. If you feel there's information that is prejudicial to the case, Let us know. If you feel the president has done something ultra-virus to setting up the committee, let us know.
Is that the decision to now sue? So we go through the process.
What is
then
that?
She makes her claims out there.
What does the Constitution say? No, what does the Constitution say? Does the Constitution give the president the mandate to form a committee?
Yep.
So has he done anything authorized to form that committee?
No.
So why does she want the committee to be stopped? Why? What is the reason? Is it in her statement of claim? Is it in there?
No, she didn't mention that. I think that maybe when we started the process.
It's a bit
what?
affidavit.
Is it in there?
Okay. Well, the one that
we
I've
haven't
not seen the affidavit.
There will always be affidavit.
But we haven't seen the affidavit.
So we can't
haven't seen it.
What's in there?
Let's see the affidavit.
No, there has to be affidavit.
We know, but have we
why are
seen
not
it?
Privy to it?
Have we seen
Well,
it?
maybe affidavits.
No, we haven't seen it. Ishak, you can't bring things in that we haven't seen. Let's talk about the things we've seen. The Constitution states a certain process. The process has been followed by the president. Let's move with the process. All this thing about doing a committee, so what? For what? If there's nothing to hide, let the process go on. And if it so happens that she's vindicated, she's vindicated. Nobody in this country can say if the Chief Justice vindicated, the politicians can sack her from there. Nobody. So let it go through. All this wuru wahala thing, I think is just a waste of time. We need this thing to be done fast and be cleared fast, and we move on. Simple.
Okay. Now let's look at the involvement of the former AG. Now, in his own words, he says that his decision to represent Chief Justice Getru Tokono is not a sign of NPP alignment, but rather a continuation of his long-standing commitment to defending the judiciary. Now, a stance, he says, has defined his career right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Did we see this coming?
Okay, but before I comment, I come to that. Let me mention something quickly. Mr. Getru emphasized the Chief Justice is his friend. Yeah. I'm not happy with that statement. Because if he has you, with the comments that you are passing, after this glare, one, the letter that was sent to her inviting her for the hearing, even a venue was not stated. Why would you invite somebody for a hearing, a venue is not stated? If I am the Chief Justice's friend, I'll probably comment on that. I'll see problem with that. And if I see that...
So it's supposed to be held in the air.
Let me finish.
It's supposed to be held in the air.
No,
it's
I'm
petty. The comment that is petty.
That's the first point. The second point is that if indeed I'm the Chief Justice's friend, and then somebody is seen, somebody say that he saw the two judges together with the lawyers for the...
Come on, Ishak, you're a lawyer. Ishak, you're a lawyer.
For me, if the Chief Justice has you as a friend, what does he need an enemy for?
Please.
If the Chief Justice have you as a friend, he doesn't need an enemy.
Away from the process. They meeting and all of that.
No.
It could be anything.
I have just explained to you that justice doesn't have to be done. It has to be seen to be done.
Look.
The code of ethics for judges frown upon it. So if I'm your friend, I will be very concerned.
Point of order. Point of order. Point of order.
So she doesn't need an enemy.
Even in court, when the defense and the prosecution are stating their case, after court proceedings, don't you see the two lawyers talking in court? After,
not before.
I said after, whatever the case is, don't you see? Don't you see clients say, hey, not in a microphone, they are doing some what do you call it in there. They talk all the time.
It doesn't take anything.
It doesn't take anything away.
Not before.
Whatever the case is. Please.
And this is what we are talking about.
You can't hold them. You can't hold them for sitting and talking and eating together. Are they enemies?
No.
Are they enemies? They are members of the judiciary. When they come to court, they speak on behalf of the clients they are defending. Period. Lawyers, you're a lawyer. They share notes.
I will never.
Lawyers, they share notes. What are you talking about?
In your case, what does the law say in terms of meetings of this sort? Does it take any?
I have just told you what they call it.
Yeah, but I want to see the effect of the case.
The effect of the case is that justice will not be seen to be done. I have just told you that there is a case in the common law, Both Street Magistrate called ex parte Pinochet, whereby a decision of the House of Lords was set aside because Lord Hoofman has sat on the case and his wife, who was connected with the petitioner, Amnesty International, and he sat on the case. Just the fact that his wife was one of the, what they call it, was a patron.
So the decision was influenced somehow.
They said that justice doesn't, in the judiciary,
Comment on this one and let's go. Comment on this one and let's go.
You know, he said how that...
Comment on this one, let's go.
And I said, it is that...
So it influences the decision somehow.
How?
Okay.
Because it will, the right-thinking members of society, when they see that, they will see that justice has not been done. Something wrong somewhere. And the example that you were cited to counter me, you said even lawyers meeting after, not before.
Okay. Why they can meet before? They can meet before. Why can't they meet before?
Okay, what was the next question?
So
why can't they meet before?
The point I just want to make is that I don't want you to keep repeating the Chief Justice is his friend.
Why?
It can be.
If the Chief Justice is his friend, she doesn't need an enemy.
Who said I'm an enemy?
What does
I've never said that.
I said you are the Chief Justice's friend.
Yes,
what I'm saying
I
is
can't
that
be her enemy. I want the law to be followed.
For me, if somebody is my friend, and this kind of issues arises, and I've seen that somebody invited them for hearing and failed to put what they call it, a venue, and I see nothing wrong with that.
So it will be held in the air.
Then later,
it will be held in the air.
Then later, if I see that the lawyer for the petitioners, together with the people who are going to make decisions against her, possible decisions against her, are seen together.
Were you there with them?
Friend,
do you know what they were talking about?
It will concern me a lot.
Were you there when they were talking?
The Constitution is supreme. Apart from the analogy you were giving right now,
yes.
Every other thing that lawyer has said has been followed through Article 146.
Yes.
And the Constitution is supreme.
Yes.
You don't.
The Constitution spoke about impartiality of the individuals.
We are talking 146.
We are talking about.
We are talking 146.
Exactly.
We are talking 146.
No,
Stop the impartiality of the 146.
Yes, the 146 follows.
Yeah.
But the 146 is created on the spirit. Have you heard of the spirit of the Constitution? On the spirit, on the fact that individuals who will be making decisions will be independent. That's why Article 296 come into play. Article 296 says that those people who are going to make decisions, they have to be unbiased. And all those things, because we want justice to really prevail. And as I said, how can the public see that those people are not biased if they see the petitioner lawyers together with the judges? You don't see any problem with it? In that case, we have problem with ethics in this country. We don't know what is wrong and what is right. For me, if somebody is going to decide my case, and I see my opponent together with them, either sharing a meal or having something, I will conclude that I will never get justice because these people are together.
Do you have a problem, or you don't have a problem with the Attorney General, the former Attorney General, deciding to represent?
Okay, to you, what is the problem? He's a lawyer. He is a lawyer. Is he not a lawyer? Aside being a former Attorney General,
for the
unless something...
The CJ was working for the previous government.
Look, people might frown upon it. If I were the Attorney General, perhaps because I'm too politically exposed, perhaps because you were the face of the government in terms of the judiciary.
As a legal advisor
some people might look at it to be like MPP versus NDC if you represent them. Because obviously he's a member of the MPP. But in terms, so that perception can be there. I admit to that. But in terms of legally, nothing by him from representing them. For example, I'm trained in the UK system. In the UK system, we have something we call cap rank rule. So the cap rank rule says that if somebody contacts you, whoever contacts you first, and you are available, you have to accept them. Unless, of course, there can be potential conflict.
Exactly.
Of interest. What's the conflict of interest here?
Exactly.
Unless there's a potential conflict of interest. And they are specified...
All the two people we're talking about were part of the former administration. You mentioned, you mentioned and you made an example to Honorable the Speaker of Parliament.
Yes.
And you made an example of him becoming an NDC member, all of that.
Yes.
If the Honorable Speaker now decides that he wants to go and do a similar thing to what the former Attorney General is doing right now with the CJ, you think you'll be happy about that?
No, I've just told you that some people might see it and they think it's NDC versus MPP.
Is that not the case?
No,
if you want to take it from
I did tell you I admit to that. But what I'm saying is that, but legally, there's nothing by him from representing the CJ. Yes, but I think this perception, some people might
valid.
say it that way. Yes,
It's valid.
Yes, but legally, there's nothing to stop him. And as I mentioned, we have what we call cap rank rule. Whoever contacts you first, you represent them. Except, of course, if there's going to be conflict. And the rules even define where a conflict is. If your direct family member is involved. Do you understand that? In that case, there will be a conflict where you cannot clearly use your judgment looking at the evidence. Here is not present. He's a lawyer. And if the CJ wants the Attorney General to represent him, I don't see it to be a problem. But ethically, some people might think that because he was much involved in the previous government, people will be seeing it as this continual MPP, NDC issue that we are just discussing. So yes.
You think that it's cool. Great. You can also send your messages to WhatsApp. WhatsApp line is active. We're streaming live on Facebook. You can send your messages over there as well. And please, when you send your messages, just go straight to the point, all right? And make it devoid of any insult or anything that would, disrespect anybody over here. So please try as much as possible to be very civil for us when you send your messages.
KMJ. If for nothing at all, I would have advised the CJ to send her petition directly to the president.
Instead of all this,
yes,
I'm going through this.
Yes.
With the president.
Yes.
Give her
Why? No, there must be a basis for me saying that.
Okay.
When you go to Article 11, what does it say of 146? The president may, at any time, revoke a suspension under this article. He has the power to revoke the suspension. So that petition should have gone to the president with her reasons why she feels he should not have suspended her. Simple. Does the Supreme Court have the right to go against a what do you call it in the Constitution, a process in the Constitution that the president has followed?
No.
Does it? So she should have gone back to the president. He gave the order of suspension and told him, give your reasons why you feel you shouldn't be suspended prior to the hearing of the case, and then let him decide. If he then takes it back to the Council of State, because that is the process, the Council of State advise him, then we take it from there. All this is, for me, is delay tactics. Don't know why. Now, where the
AG, former
AG is concerned, yes, it's his right. He's now a private person, having a private chambers. It is his right to defend whoever he wants to defend. But there's a scepter of politics that now comes in. The mere fact he's an immediate past CJ, the mere fact that the MPP just got out of office, makes the entire thing look political. Because remember, the CJ has also employed another lawyer. Another lawyer who is not political, who is a straightforward gentleman who practices. So what is the reasoning behind taking on Godfrey Dame? As I said, he has a right. I will not stop him or say anything against that right he has to defend the CJ. But it has political connotations. And that is where the danger is. Where a case of the judiciary now becomes political. That is where the danger is. Because in this country, the politics always overtakes the primary reason. Always overtakes the primary reason. And for this particular case, we do not want that to happen. Let it be clear, it's a legal issue, it is the judiciary, let it be clear and let us have it, period. So really, yes, my good friend, my good schoolmate, okay, he's my junior.
What if Shaq doesn't want to hear?
Well, but it's true. He's an undecided boy, so a disco boy. So I should be able to say my good schoolmate, because he went to my school. He has a reason why he took it on. And if his reason, and when I heard him over yesterday on Joy, he said he's been handling such cases long before. But this is sensitive. This is very sensitive. The long before he's talking about, is it with highly placed people like the Chief Justice? And one of the arguments he made was the fact that the NDC side, Chatu Cheketa and all those people, they are all those, so they also make it, also make it political. But you are immediate past. Immediate past. You have had interactions with the Chief Justice when you were in power, even clashes with the Chief Justice. As I said, it doesn't stop you from doing it. But the sensitivity of it, So let's see what happens. He's not going to say that because of that, he's doing what? He's giving it up. He's still going on. But let's stick to the law and make sure that the law works, period.
Looking at it also, so it means that with this process, if it continues, in fact, with the injunction process, if it continues, it means that the Chief Justice and Godfred will be actually going before justices who they have been under, they have supervised in a way before, because the names that have been mentioned in terms of the justices that are in charge of this case, it means that the Chief Justice who before...
She's the boss.
She was the boss.
She now, places all the different judges on other cases.
How will this pan out from the legal perspective?
Come on. Come on.
I'm just thinking about it.
She has been suspended. Her suspension doesn't give her the chance to act in her capacity as a Chief Justice.
So now you become a subordinate.
So it's not a... You see, mind the words that you use. What's the subordinate? What is a subordinate? She has been removed from the position she was in. At this material moment, she's not acting as a Chief Justice.
Chief Justice, yeah.
She's been suspended. There's a case against her. Who is supposed to hear that case? Isn't it the committee that the Constitution allows the president to set up? Who will make up that committee? Is it the members of the judiciary and another? So if it so happens that the members of the committee, once upon a time, were her juniors or she directed them, what's the problem? What's the problem? So you are sitting here, KMJ. You are head of, what do you call it here in this place. You do something wrong. And then they set up the cameramen and Sheila and Co. to look at your case. The fact that you're head, are you saying that they don't have the power to do that?
They do, but in the other way, it doesn't become more or less like you've been used to. I'm just in my wild imagination.
You see, the challenge here would be if it so happens that the CJ is vindicated and she's restored back to her position, how will she act? How will she act? Will she act against these people who were put on the committee? Will she? Will she act in a vindictive way? Will she do that? I hope that doesn't happen. I hope she sees it as a process.
As human as she is.
You should live above human thing, because these are people you work with. The judges are no small people. The fact that you've been made a CJ is not a right, it's a privilege. So if you are vindicated, that privilege you should use in a way that doesn't cause animosity.
You don't hold anything against anybody.
It doesn't cause animosity, because you should know it's a process. If there's going to be any animosity, it shouldn't be against the people you work with. If for nothing at all, it should be against the executive.
Okay.
Although the Constitution gives the executive the power to do what she did. So I don't see where that should come in. It should actually even humble the CJ to let her see that and let her know that it was a process we all went through. I believe that if she is vindicated, I believe she would call all, and she's restored back to her position. She'll call all the members and she'll have a frank chat with them all to forget whatever happened and let's move, because the judiciary is one part of our governance system that everybody can go to for relief. And if everybody can go to for relief, then we have to be seen to be working together as a team. I hope that can happen.
Okay. Ishak, I'm going to come back to you on that. I want to have your take on that also, but let me read some few messages from our viewers as well. and see what they are also saying. This one over here says, I'm very amazed this morning at the submission of Mr. Jantua. Would he have said this when this had happened under NPP? I also say double standards in this country is one of our problems. Did he speak this way when the due process was followed to remove Madam Charlotte Say? Did Nana Jantua hear what the president and other leading members of the NDC said about the justice system and especially the CJ when he was in opposition? What did he say to that? Idi Adam Osman from Labaranga speaks, and let me go to...
I didn't actually comment on the what do you call it, Charlotte Say one. Never commented.
This one says, good morning, KMJ. Why do you not challenge the assertion by lawyer Ishak that the petitioner's lawyers were seen together with one of the committee members? Wasn't it that the fact described as a monstrous lie yesterday, or am I mistaken? Well, I don't know of... the challenge that you want to see, but this is something that has happened, and he's just expressing why it shouldn't have been the case. Now, good morning, KMJ. According to Mr. Uncle, Mr. Jantua, those fighting against the removal of the CJ are NPP. But to Mr. Jantua, those in favor of a removal as well as the petitioners are not NDC members, but rather ordinary Ghanaians. But those against the removal are not ordinary Ghanaians. We should all be mindful with the rate at which this government is trying to sack people from their offices. How do you also mean when you say they are not ordinary Ghanaians? What proof do you have? They started with the removal of the IGP, move on to sack top military officials and replace them with their junior colleagues. They then moved to sack health institutional heads, CEOs, including some civil servants. This cannot be the practice of democracy. We have to tread cautiously. We cannot sit and watch one political party take over all arms of government. The NDC are in charge of the executive legislature and now wants to take over the judiciary, and nobody sees nothing wrong with it. Let's be honest to ourselves. Removal of the CJ is purely political and has nothing to do with the law. That's Kefrim Pong. This one over here, let me see, says, good morning. Considering the recent appointment of judges made by the president is clearly shown that he is having interest in the removal of CJs in order to achieve a purpose in future. JDM is setting precedents. So why Jantua and the sister Nanaya Jantua are always in the support of the NDC? Abdul Aziz Umaru in why is asking...
Is Nanaya here? Nanaya isn't here. Please.
Somewhere doing a business for Ghana. This one over here, good morning, KMJ. B Gent collections from Kwame. Okay, I've got you. This one over here says, good morning, KMJ. Why is it that only NPP people are trying to stop CJ's removal? And I wanted to remind them once again that 61 plus percent is greater than 38%. So the whole 61 plus percent of Ghanaians population is in support of CJ's removal. They should allow the process to go smoothly. All right. Good morning, please. Ask the NPP man what happened to former AG Dame Jakpa and Ato. Sorry, where are you? Why are you telling him to go back to the UK and learn more? You want him to go back to the UK and learn more? Okay. This one says the NPP should give us a space. Law is a law. You can cry and cry. You can cry and cry. Do unnecessary demo, but the law is the law. The secretary to the CJ has come out with accusations, contracts given by CJ to her children, money spent on private holiday, and that's your take on that. Okay. Blueprints right from Mexico, Ketan. It says, if not for the purposes of records and precedent like the former chief, Madam Gertrude Tokonu, would have given out in the fight against injustice removal by this current administration. And let's respect the rule of law. Greetings to Honorable Kennedy Ejipong. All right, let me go to this one from Evans, if I'm not... Okay, so good morning. It says this Evans from Keta Krache. Like this petition wasn't filed against... would she have refunded the money? Why is Godfred Dame, former Attorney General, and the NPP is the one that defending the CJ appointed by the NPP? What is there? What don't we know? This one over here is from D Smarts, and it says, KMJ, I tell you, the man in smoke, which is Ishak, is a lawyer as well, is frolicking with our minds and emotions, but he contradicted himself. He said former Attorney General representing the CJ may be perceived NPP versus NDC, but legally, there's no problem. The same mouth that he used in saying that based on certain perceptions the NDC had pertaining to the CJ, justice is not seen to be being served. The question is legally, as he claims, has the president done anything untoward? We are not babies. He should stop being malicious and disingenuous. Okay. There's a lot more for Lawyer Jantwa this morning. Mr. Jantwa, you always educate viewers by fact. Keep it up. We're proud of you, Uncle Sam from Asokwa, Kumase. Let me go to the next one over here. It says, good morning, KMJ. I think the Chief Justice has worsened the case. The President have to put the Constitution aside and sack him. Period. Robert Yankson Kipos. It's not possible. This is never possible. It's not. We have to go through the process. Good morning. Please, Jantwa is not. How can you say someone is your friend and stabbing?
How is it stabbing?
You're hypocrite. I think they're trying to agree with that.
No, but if your friend does something and you want to correct them, maybe that correction they don't want to hear.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good morning. In fact, when we the citizens see the NPP people making noise, it makes us more angry because of the huge money they have stolen from. They stolen when they were in power, and now have got the guts to be telling what is right and what is wrong in this country. We've just been patient with Mahama for some few months. Should he fail to jail these people, we shall see in this country if the country belongs to only those thieves. Mahama should do fast and remove this NPP CJ who has intention to protect those people to delay cases to another 4 years come. And that's Jakin in someone. Okay. The irony of, you being in someone and the kind of conversation you're having right now. Jail. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Host. Hey, Ishak is a kind person who can lead his friends to ditch. You mean friends of Ishak, beware of him. And that's from Sarah. I'm not sure he will do that. Good morning, KMJ. My message is simple this morning. Good men stand up when the wicked tries to experiment innocent souls. Our democracy is on a very slippery path, and I'm so sad listening to an elderly man like Mr. Jantwa on this issue. I'm shocked he's now terming the involvement of Godfrey Dame as counsel for the CJ as political. Really, I'm so sad. In Sawam sent in that. This one over here says all NPP members should not blame anybody except former President Anado and his appointees who were very arrogant, disrespectful, neglect to party members, and eventually led the party to opposition. I am arguing all NPP members to forget, I'm urging all NPP members to forget about the past and reunite to win back power from this incompetent legendary John Mahama and his NDC government. Now, the good news is that whoever the NDC and John Mahama appoints should be prepared to leave office once the NPP regains power. There is this belief that you cannot use a good advertisement to support a bad product like President John Mahama and the NDC. Aziz Bayo from WA sent in that one, I'm sure. That's your take. Good morning, KMJ. The Chief Justice should stop stampeding the process outlined in Article 146 of the Constitution. She should know that there's nothing she can do which can keep her in office. Nanaka Kari in Techiman sent in that. Let me go to the next one over here. It says, good morning. Please tell the EC chairman to pay us our monies. It's been 6 months now. 80 cents in the day. He's been consistently been sending this, paying of monies. I don't know. Ishak, you can take it up.
I have no idea.
I mean, it's been very consistent, Good morning, KMJ. Please, what it is all that NPP Mafia Party were defending the suspended CJ Tokono. Some of the NPP mafias are afraid of going to jail for the crime they caused against the country, Ghana, because she is their last hope. But it will never happen. CJ must go. Daniel from Ho sent in that. Maybe I'll do 2 more and then we'll move on. Good morning. Host, the CJ is subject to the 1992 Constitution. What NPP opposition party are doing is waste of everybody's time. What NPP is doing is needless. It didn't hold water. We thank JM for bringing sanity to our judicial service. Kudos to His Excellency. But about petrol price, CD cement price, Achu from Katamanso New Bridge sent in that. And then this one. will probably be the last one for now. Good morning, KMJ. Why is NPP making mountain out of an anthill? There is no ambiguity whatsoever in Article 146. In fact, judiciary that rule the birth certificate, which is primary document, can't prove one's citizenship, but secondary document like passport can do. We need a reset when things fall apart. The center cannot hold. From Nanaya in Techiman. All right, so Nanaya this morning taking us into things fall apart, which I'm thinking that it's probably necessary. Anyway. And I think it's a good time for us to move on to the next conversation, unless you have anything that you want to say quickly. But let's move on to the next conversation, which has to do with the president who's admitted that his government actually inherited nearly $9 billion US dollars from the reserves. And this has been a conversation over the period. I mean, a lot of people think that we're seeing all we're seeing because the NPDC is doing some magic. Okay. And we need to give them credit for that. They also believe that they've made some progress in terms of what is making us experience what we experience now. And the NDC is supposed to be giving them some credit for that. The president admitting to this, it settles the case. Is the NPP happy now?
Well, it's a good start. But you see, we knew we were going to get good news very soon. I remember somewhere December, the then finance minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Anta, had given information to Ghanaians that the economy was beginning to do very, very well, and that there was going to be good news very soon. You can verify that. You can check it. And that even as part of handover, they have told them the economy, the worst is over, and that we're going to see serious growth. So we had that information already. And why was he saying that? As some of the economist people have said, I must admit, economics is not one of my strong points, even though I have a background in it. But I've neglected it for quite some time. But senior economists have already confirmed that the right environment was put in place before we actually left. And one of them they cited was the Gold for Oil program, when there was huge pressure on the city because of demand for gold, demand for dollars by Ghana. I mean, we are predominantly an importing country, especially for food, which is quite embarrassing. Agriculture product, we shouldn't be doing it. But we're doing it, so the pressure on the city was huge. I remember listening to a speech delivered by the then flag bearer of the MPP, who said, if we hadn't thought about this Gold for Oil program, it would have caused a serious havoc. To the extent that, to the extent that the economy could have even melted down completely. But when they thought of the Gold for Oil program, in fact, it more or less performed magic. It reduced the pressure and means that we're beginning to accumulate reserves, as Bank of Ghana was asked to buy the gold locally, and then we would then use them to get the fuel in. It reduces the pressure, and then our reserves were beginning to build up. And I think even 3 weeks ago, the Bank of Ghana governor acknowledged huge reserves. But then when you listen to NDC communicators, they painted a very depressing picture. And usually they want to attribute bad news to the previous government. I remember when they increased tariffs of electricity and water by almost 14%. They tried to push the blame to the previous government because the IMF program had included certain clauses that they needed to be increasing tariffs. And the question is, what percentage did he say? No percentage was mentioned there. So the 14% is you who were putting the burden on the people, because you have a choice. You can either go and renegotiate it, or even the rate could be 2%, 1%, but you increase it by 14%. But when the city begins to gain strength, and you know very well that we had huge reserves. Now the president admitted $10 billion. That's a lot of money, especially when you went to the IMF for $3 billion. And now you are taking over with 10 billion reserves. So it simply tells you that the pressure on the CD is not going to be there. And we also see that there are external factors that help the CD. The trade war of the United States with the rest of the world, I'll probably say the rest of the world, especially led by China on the one side, means that de-dollarization is taking place. The Chinese are now entering into contracts that doesn't involve using the dollar. Some of them are butter, or some of them are backed by gold backing the yuan as an international currency. The BRICS countries are also doing that. So the pressure on Ghana with regards to the US dollar is reduced, both with these policies that the previous government...
And you have the policies.
Yes, I mean...
Yet you didn't see that, reflects in what we're seeing right now. What was the...
What do you mean by we didn't see that reflect? I thought the admission that 9 billion...
No, but we were not seeing the city appreciating like what it is doing right now.
No, but you see...
That's what I'm asking, that you had this
You had to
reserve.
remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. We had economic crisis. Nobody is denying.
We want to go back to the economic crisis.
No, you said it wasn't appreciated. I want to explain to you why that was happening. Because if you have economic crisis...
Like what?
Oh, we didn't have economic crisis. We had to go to the IMF for bailout. Yes, we went to IMF.
Yeah, I just want to hear which crisis you're making references to. So the IMF.
Yes, the IMF economic crisis. So having had the IMF deal, we have to put in place policies. They take time to effect. And sometimes, unfairly, they give advantage to somebody who cannot even acknowledge. So the acknowledgement of the president is actually good. It shames his communicators who were saying there was nothing of that nature. But we said that 10 billion, I mean, objectively speaking, 10 billion can reduce what? The pressure on the dollar. Because you don't need...
Well, you left it at 9 billion, by the way.
No, you said almost, I mean,
but we have 10 billion 9
you
left, 9.4.
9.4.
But
I mean, 9.4.
You left it at 9.4.
9.4 technically. I mean, what
as of February 2025,
yes.
we're around 9.4. So
yes, so that's fine. So 9.4, and somebody is adding 0.6. And a person wants to take the whole credit. Look.
The person has been in power for 4 months. Remember?
For 4 months.
There for 8.
So they claim
the
success is they claim the success is
4 years to do that.
They claim the success is down to where? The communicator, before President Mahama admitted, the communicators claim the success was down to good policies and the establishment of gold board. You ask yourself, when was gold board established? It has been in existence just about a month. Barely a month. So if something is barely a month, then they must have the magic hand.
Is that not possible?
No, it's
that
not possible.
And the
one man
inaugurated.
But you have just
and
said
they'll be able to push certain buttons.
But you have just
what
said
we're seeing. This is a drastic reduction of.
You have just said what they have added is 0.6 as compared to 9.4.
Yeah.
So the 0.6 is a magic one.
But you should also not
if this is their magic, I call it a fluke. If this is a magic, this is I think this is a fluke. Do you understand that? So the admission is quite good. Do you understand that? This is what we call duty of conduct. You give credit where it is due. If you need to push blame, you also apportion it appropriately. But as I said, look, the president can claim whatever credit, NDC communicator can claim other credits. If you are having a marathon and you start this way, I pray and hope we should be able to stabilize the city. As an opposition, I don't want to see bad news. The NDC thing, the MPP is looking for.
You come across as though that's what
No, I don't think so. Look, the welfare of the ordinary Ghanaian is primarily important. It should be primarily important for every Ghanaian.
And for every NPP?
Everybody. I'm telling you, look, we don't just want power for power's sake. We want power to change people's lives.
You don't want to see the government fail, so you come to power in 2028?
Why? What kind of governance system is that? At the end of the day, politics is about competing to make people's life better, not just having power for power's sake. So we want them to do very well. But as they keep taking the credit, we pray things should continue to be better. They keep taking credit. But when things get worse, like the power crisis we're beginning to have, last night I slept in darkness. And then last week I slept in darkness. A lot of people across the country, they are all reporting. And I have seen a video clip by John Jinapo who was insisting that. That's why the then energy minister said they were doing replacement of faulty things. He said, let's see a timetable. I asked him for consistency. Where is the timetable? Because things seem to be consistent.
We've not got in there yet.
No,
Yeah.
we are almost, we are there. From his standards, what he was saying previously, we are almost there. We are actually there.
So you demand for a timetable?
Well, he needs to do that because at least people are beginning to complain very much. And they are beginning to condition us. We know they are very incompetent when it comes to energy. That's why they are beginning to condition us by talking to us about debt from previous time, debt for previous time. I told you campaign on research, that you do things differently. And when you were in opposition party is called what? Government in waiting. You know the problems and you know the opportunities. So you can't just come now and complain for your inability to do things and try to push the blame elsewhere.
Okay.
And as I said, the 120 days that you were celebrating, we told you this was low-hanging fruits. The heavy lifting is in the energy sector. Managing the economy, the 24 hours economy that you promised the people, good people of Ghana. The youth unemployment. This is where the heavy lifting is there. Not 114 days you've appointed members of your cabinet.
Okay, hold on.
That's jump and clap.
I'll come back to you again. Let me take the thought of lawyer as well.
Now, who caused the crisis? Who caused the crisis? Ishaq said, you come into power to make people's lives better. Whose life did they make better when they came to power? Whose life?
They left the reserve.
I said, whose life did they make better when they came into power? If it went their own. If it went their own. Why did Ghanaians decide to kick them out of power?
You were driving it.
What nice car am I driving? Don't go down that line, please.
You've moved from your V8.
Please, I don't drive a V8. I don't drive a V8. I've always driven my old car. I've always driven my old car. Don't put things in people's mind that isn't there. Speak the truth. You speak the truth. Stop doing that.
It was very comfortable when MPP was in power.
I said, what do you mean I was very comfortable?
Very
what?
comfortable.
Like what?
When you say you were comfortable,
what is he trying to infer?
You are my
to?
good friend. I know you were very comfortable.
How was I comfortable? How? Don't put things in there that aren't true, please. Find trouble for me. You're trying to tell us, and he says the NDC is known to not being able to handle the energy sector.
Yeah.
When they came into power, what did they use to handle the energy sector? Wasn't it the equipment that the NDC brought in? Did they bring anyone in? We should stop this kind of politics. It doesn't help us. Let's talk country. Let's talk nation. In terms of building this nation together, there's something called perpetual succession. You take liabilities and assets, the assets, when a new government comes in. So if at this point it is looking good, it's a new government that's in power. It is a new government that is in power.
Yeah.
And isn't it astronomical for President Mahama to say what he said with regards to the reserves? Isn't it astronomical that he can say, yes, the MPP left us what? 8.9 what? 9.4 billion reserves. Isn't that a good thing to say? Will they have said it? Will they have said it? Because everything the MPP does is politics, not country. And country should come first. Ghanaians kicked them out because they didn't bring country first. When Oforiatta was going around the world getting loans and bonds, was he not warned? The international institutions, did they not say, watch your borrowing? Did they not say that? And then we got to a point where we said, Mr. President, we need to go to the IMF. Did they mind us? What did Ken Oforiatta say? We are a proud nation. We are this, we are that, we are that. So we won't go. By the time they now decided to go, when things worse, come on. Let's speak the truth and shame the devil. Let's speak the truth and shame the devil. At least, President Mahama has been able to say, yes, they left us 9.4 reserves. It is up to him now to make sure those reserves are used properly. Those reserves are used properly. And in any government, in the initial parts of a government, things tend to do well. At this material moment, we are in IMF. The same way the MPP, when they came to power, they were in IMF. Once we get out of IMF, that is where the question is. Are we going to be able to keep the cedi at its exchange rate that it is today and even into single digits? That should be the aim. That should be where we are heading for. That should be something that we all together make sure it happens. Point of call. We should try as much as possible to bring down imports. At the AGI, we keep saying our import bill is too high. We should do import substitution and change. Try as much as possible to change the taste buds of Ghanaians. Because when you look at some of the things we import, it's basically taste buds things, food. Food. And move into those areas, the poultry industry, those industries that we are importing heavy, try and cut it down. That should be the aim. Once we are able to do that, what happens? We can stabilize the cedi. That cedi needs to stay. What is it today? 14 or 12 to the dollar?
No, we're around 12 now.
It's around 12 now.
I believe that it's 11.9.
11.9 to the dollar.
Yes.
Why couldn't they do it? Why couldn't the MPP bring it down? And John Mahama's been able to bring it down. How many years? How many months has he been in power?
4 months.
4 months. Yes, Vice President Bawumia says they are not paying their bills, so they can do. Were they paying their bills when they were in power? Were they paying their bills?
2026 and 2027.
I said, were they paying their bills? So why couldn't they have brought the exchange rate down? I mean, look, I don't want us to play politics all the time with certain things. I'd want us to look at it as a nation-building exercise where everybody brings their elbow to the wheel and we push that wheel together. Because exchange rate has come down. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. It's not good for me.
Lawyer, would interest you. Yesterday, somebody gave me $100. I told the person to take it back and give me cedis.
You see?
Yeah.
And people will stop investing in dollar and look at cedis.
Before, I'd have grabbed the dollar and
Exactly.
The forex. I said, no, give me cedis.
So the key is for our institutions to be able to keep the exchange rate low. Now, one of the other major keys is the parastatals we have, the government agencies we have. They should be able, with the kind of exchange rate we have now, they should be able to garner a lot of revenue for government. They should be able to do it. They should be able to do it. And if they are not able to do it, the president should ask them why, because he did indicate when he was inaugurating them, when he had this meeting with all the SOCs, that your aim and the objective of you being put in the position you are in is to make revenue for government. And they should be able to make revenue for government.
Okay.
For me, let me end by saying, please, Ghanaians, all those who have been put in positions, put your personal interest aside. That personal interest thing creates challenges for institutions to make revenue. Put that personal interest aside and remember that the position they put you in to serve. The way we are sitting around this table trying to serve Ghanaians. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you very much, Lawyer Jantua. You can also send your messages and join us here. Add your thoughts to what we're talking about here on WhatsApp and then also on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook. Don't forget that Newsflash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phones Papa Pathie, and I'm asking you to go there this morning. For all your home appliances, you can contact them and always call them on the numbers you see on the screens. Download the app. It's the Franco Trading app on Google Play Store. Once you have the app, you've got Franco Trading Enterprise in your hands, and you can always go there and pick something. If you want phones, CCTV cameras, televisions, air conditionings, refrigerators, the best place you can always get them is Franco Trading Enterprise. Newsflash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phones Papa Pathie. We've always been joined over here in the studio. Honorable David T.G. Vondee is here with us. He's the MP for Chufu Ati Mokwa, and it's good to see you here this morning, and thanks for the time. I'm grateful. Honorable.
Thank you so much. Let me first of all apologize for coming late. I don't know what I ate yesterday. I had to visit the men's room all night long, and It was very uncomfortable.
Sorry about
but
that.
I am happy I am here. I really don't like disappointing producers when they put me on their shows. Unfortunately, I had to do that this morning, but it's fine. Let me greet my very good brother, lawyer Jantua, and
Thank you.
unfortunately, my friend who Ghanaians are taking through a little ride to learn how to govern. And so good morning to all of you, and good morning to our cherished viewers. I'm here. Thank you very much.
Great. We've dealt with a few, especially the CJ issue. We won't be able to go back, but let's maintain on this very new one that we're talking about. The president has admitted that they inherited in terms of reserve. We're looking around 9 billion from the previous administration. The NPP said that they've always said that they left something significant, and they deserve the credit for it. The communicators have made it difficult for them to understand that indeed this is what it is. But with the president's admission right now, it solves the issue.
You see,
the matter.
First of all, the president's admission, it's remarkable. And that's the kind of leadership we want in this country.
Yeah.
Point number 2, fact that you left something in reserve never meant that Ghanaians had better life under your administration. And we all saw how the economy was performing, and never showed something that was left in our coffers in order to make Ghanaians feel good. We all saw the dollar and the Akufo-Addo government. We all saw how it was behaving. Unfortunately, we left a dollar at 3.9 Ghana cedis to a dollar. 2016, they came in government 2017, and by the time they left, the dollar had run to more than 17 Ghana cedis to a dollar, collapsing almost every business in this country, destroying everything. All banks were collapsed and all that. We saw all that. I mean, this is not a story anybody's going to sit on television stations and tell it differently. We knew what happened. And we all knew how, our development became so much of laughable. Everybody was just laughing at Ghana. Today, we have a president, a government that is doing so well.
Everybody's laughing at us.
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, and we have government that is doing so well now. Today, a dollar. I mean, this is magical, And unfortunately, the MPP want to take credit for it. And I'm sorry. Look at the dollar today.
Yeah.
It's less than 12 Ghana cedis. It's 11.9.
Yeah.
I mean, predictions are that I was looking at the trajectory, and the predictions are that by close of June, July, we should be buying a dollar at 8 Ghana cedis.
We can do a single digit?
We can, yes, and it's going to happen. So this is, and the demeanor, of the managers of the economy now, Dr. Atuforsin and my own brother, Esiama, they don't talk. They're just quiet, doing their job. I spoke to Atuforsin 3 days ago. He was like, David, I mean, he's a good brother. I mean, David, Charlie, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I see I've been beaten. We work all day long, all night long, just to make sure that this economy is actually back to its normalcy. This is what we are looking at. This is what we are seeing. This is not anything we're talking about. It is what is happening. I'll tell you my own story. 3 days ago, I had to go to the bank and withdraw a very good amount of dollar and go and change into cedis. Thing I wouldn't have done anyway. I was like, my wife was like, you said you're going to be keeping dollar, So the point is that this is an economy that is bouncing back, that has bounced back, and we're seeing hope. We're seeing a lot of investors having confidence in our economy again, coming back again. And you see, if the MDC, the MPP want my advice, and I'm a strategist,
But before your advice,
and if
I thought they said withdrawing dollars in Ghana is illegal.
Oh,
hold on.
The Bank of Ghana has
Unless
come to clear that.
It was one of your
The Bank of Ghana came to clear that. It was I don't know.
If you have,
they said that it's not something that they've implemented.
Okay.
yeah, if you have your own money in bank dollar, and you have the sense of changing the dollar into Ghana cedi, you must be applauded. Wow. It is not a criminal.
No, it was just one of you who said it was illegal.
So the point I'm making.
Chair actually mentioned.
Yeah. So you see, if the MPP is mindful of the the future of their politics and their political party, and they have any reason to contract me, I won't even take any money from them. I'll do it free of charge. The first strategy we will implement is a shut-up strategy. Just to shut up. Because you see, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia recently said that the gains that we're getting in our economy is a result of his strategies that he implemented. And it's laughable. Sometimes when you shut up, you make a lot of sense. And I believe that this time around, I believe that this time around...
He's explained that. The admission does not mean that...
I believe that this time around, what will help the MPP... Of course, I don't want to have one party state, I mean, sometimes you need somebody to look back and... What I think that the MPP would want to do for themselves today, now, going forward, for now, is to shut up and watch how things are unfolding. Because, you see, we've given you guys time, opportunity, and everything you did was to mess this economy up. And so for me, it is just about Ghana now. Nothing. Look at the president, his demeanor, the things that he's doing, his modesty in terms of spending Ghana money. Look at what he's doing in terms of the number of ministers that he appointed. Okay, today we're doing 56 ministers, adding all the regional ministers and so forth and so on. He promised to do 60, but we're doing 56. We have 4 more to go. I don't know whether he's going to appoint even 4 more because everything is actually going on well. And then you have a situation where even our independence celebration was so modestly celebrated. And this is a president that is so modest and so, hardworking.
Isn't that what makes
and so for me...
Vondee, isn't that what makes people a bit skeptical? Because what is happening is too nice to be true. And so if we're not careful...
I love that word. It's too nice to be true. Because if you experience... If you've been in this country for 8 years...
happening differently.
If you've been in this country for 8 years and you see the profligacy and you see the gut, that kind of, governance, and all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and you see this kind of modesty, you may think it looks... No, this is sustainable.
Back to square one.
Listen, this is sustainable. There is no way you're going to wake up one day to see His Excellency Mahama appointing 100 ministers. That's not going to happen. There's no you're going to wake up in the morning to see the city
go to 80.
No, it is not going to happen. It is not. You know the strategy. We are trying whatever we can to maintain the city and to make sure this economy grows back. Look, and we're not going back. That I can assure you. Whoever is having dollar in his account, you better think about changing into cities because, you see, it may be useless, very soon. And so our economy is back. We thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the handlers of the economy. And it's back, and it will be back, even stronger than we're seeing. So the MPP should just shut up and watch and see how things unfold. Okay. And you see, with the CJ, just a quick one.
Okay. I need a response to him.
Just a quick one.
Okay, I'll come to you.
With the CJ issue, unfortunately, the MPP thinks that they are the only people who have idea of what we call the law and the constitution of this country. I don't know why the CJ would want to arrest a constitutionally constituted, committee to look into matters that... And I think the CJ should even rather be applauding His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. You are a journalist, a very seasoned journalist for that matter. Have you seen the petition that they used to remove Charotose? Have you seen it with your eyes before? Was Charotose given the opportunity to even see why she was being removed? Today we have a government that is using the Constitution, and you don't want to applaud that government. You are going around and go for a dummy.
Yeah.
You are accusing the representatives and the legal representatives of the petitioners, Chashushikata and Vomawa and the other gentleman. And then you, Godfrey Dami, you are a government appointee, Akufo-Addo government, representing government appointee, Akufo-Addo government, Tokonu. That's why you say nothing about it. What kind of hypocritical attitude is that? And for me, I think that until our constitution is changed, these things will continue to happen. The IGP must rise through the rank to become an IGP. The Chief Justice must rise through the rank to become a Chief Justice. Decoupled the Attorney General from Minister of Justice, let the Attorney General rise to the rank to become Attorney General, and then appoint your Minister of Justice. Until we do this, look, if you appoint IGP, for example, as president, what are you doing? You are just making a chief vigilante.
But Honorable, you've been in power this Fourth Republic. Why didn't you decouple the Attorney General's office from the Ministry of Justice? Because some of us had been talking about it for years, but it is still there.
So the point I'm making to you is that that's what we should be thinking about now. But to say that
you're in power now.
No, the point I'm making is that we're in 4 months in power.
Yes, do it.
So it's something we can do, and we are thinking about it. Look, for Tokonu to think that she wants to continue to be Chief Justice, I think that the best thing for her is to resign. If I were her,
there's a case against her.
But I'm saying that to avoid all these brouhaha. I mean, these, I just would.
But it won't be fair on her part.
For me,
it won't be fair.
That's just an advice to her.
No, it won't be fair on her part.
For me, I would just let go.
It won't be fair on her part.
I would just let go of all these things.
It won't be fair on her part.
Because you see,
but Vondee,
Honorable, it won't be fair on her part.
Are we seeing her removal?
You need to give her hearing.
I cannot determine a matter that is actually before a committee and, if you like, portion of it in the Supreme Court where she went to the Supreme Court.
So you can't determine
I cannot, hold on, I cannot determine the merit or,
And you're asking her to resign?
I'm only advising her to avoid all these troubles. For me, I would have resigned. An advice is not a determination of what
She's not you.
I wish I could.
Exactly. Once it's not me, then she can go through it. Maybe she has the muscles to go through it.
Honorable, thank you.
But I just pray that she will be successful. Unfortunately, I don't see that.
Okay.
I don't see that at all.
Let me see if I can do a few messages. I'll come to Ishak and then lawyer will also.
Ishak has nothing to say again.
Can I get messages if I don't have it now? Let me just go on. Lawyer Ishak, and then I'll come back later for them. Okay. All right. Let me.
I was looking forward to see Honorable today. But when he arrived, and so far what he has said, I've been very, very disappointed. I think disappointed is the right way to say it. I wish I can actually open his head to see what is really there.
How will you see?
Something that...
How will you see?
No, I wish...
How will you see?
No, I wish...
By opening the head, how will you see?
I mean, to get a neurologist to see what is really
Nobody
there.
will see it if you
So,
open
let's go. You don't know what the petition contains. You don't know what the committee would conclude. Then you are advising somebody to resign.
I don't know when advice becomes...
It just gives away your motivation. Exactly what we are
to avoid all these things.
But let's put it aside. Let's come back to the economy. He has said a lot of number of things, which really makes me very disappointed. Now, he said MPP people should shut up. That's what he said. That if he was to be appointed as a consultant, which God forbid will be shooting ourselves in the foot, that his first advice will be shut up. It doesn't surprise me. You can see his language is a Trump-like. Everybody is laughing at us. But then the former president, who is now the current president, said Ghanaians have short memories. He thinks we have short memory. He has forgotten that the MPP inherited an IMF bail economy from them. He has forgotten that. Now that they are inheriting IMF bail economy, he has forgotten that.
What have we inherited? What have we inherited from
9 billion reserves. 9.4 billion reserves. And you think that doesn't make an impact?
That's not an IMF bill, economy we
Yes, so you've
inherited from
forgotten
you, right?
that. So you said because you have inherited IMF bill economy, people should shut up.
But they are debts.
They have no
Remember
right.
They are debts that they inherited as well. Right?
Sorry?
They inherited some debts as well.
No, but I said because the current president said Ghanaians have short memories. He think we can't remember that we have inherited IMF bill economy.
But you've forgotten to say that you inherited 3.9 Ghana cedis to $1 from us. You've forgotten to say that.
Gosh.
And then by the time you finished, you took it to more than 17 Ghana cedis.
It is actually sad that, look, regardless of party, it is actually sad that our conversations is centered on foreign currency. It's actually sad. If you live in another country and you see the kind of debate that they have. So
now who caused
But that's what brought us to where we are now.
No,
people turn this country to foreign currency. You run this country on foreign basis.
Go ahead.
That's what we're talking about, lawyer.
That this problem is a collective failure as a country.
No, I'm sorry.
It is.
You can't do that.
Because we are import dependent.
How do you say we have failed?
What policy did you put in place to make sure that we are not import dependent country? From independence.
Did you do the same?
We are import. That's why I said it is very sad that he tried to push the blame elsewhere.
No, but
collectively
that's always
as
been
a
the case. The
nation,
NPP
we have
balance.
failed because we are import-dependent nation. So he cannot push the blame elsewhere and just think they are saints. Unless, of course, you have done something to reduce the import dependency in the country.
What did you do? What did you do?
Our taste as a country. Our taste as a country. I tell people, look at the way he dressed. This is a white man. This is a white man.
No,
He's a
lawyer, you are
hypocrite.
taking the conversation.
No,
elsewhere.
I am not.
And with the greatest of respect,
I'm telling
you are
people
taking the
to take an
conversation
example. Look
elsewhere.
at me here.
Lawyer,
I am an African.
So is that the
Listen,
conversation?
regardless of how long I have lived out there, yes, let's gain our taste.
Lawyer, bring
We
the
are
conversation back on this table.
This is the pressure. I am telling you the sort of thing that
bring the conversation back.
I am telling you, Honorable. I am telling you the sort of thing that would pressure.
Lawyer, you're taking the conversation out of the table, man.
This reduces the import. You wearing the
Yes,
you wearing this reduces
go
the import.
for made in Ghana goods, dressed like a Ghanaian. These are hypocrites. Look at the rope around his neck. Look at the rope around his neck.
Lawyer, I'm
Probably
sorry.
coming from
Lawyer, I'm
United
sorry.
States.
You are a very respectable
So,
lawyer.
as a
Bring the
country,
conversation back to what we're talking
The
about.
conversation is about how we can reduce the pressure on the city. Let's reduce the import dependency. Our taste.
By wearing Ghanaian clothes.
Yes, our taste has to change.
No, I mean, the rhetoric is too much.
Our
Lawyer,
taste
what are you
has
saying? We're taking the dollar from 17 Ghana cedis. Within 5 months, we're dropping it to 11.9. And then you are saying we should take pressure from the dollar that you took from 3.9 to 17 Ghana cedis. How do you see that?
If you manage to stabilize it continuously for the next 2 years, I will congratulate you openly.
You don't see that
No,
happening.
you should be applauding us for even what we've
Lawyer,
done
you
from
don't
God.
see that happening.
That's what you're supposed to be
That
doing.
is what I want to happen. That is my prayer for it to happen.
Okay.
But what I'm just saying is that the 4 months, and then what Mr. Gentile was saying,
magical
that anytime a new government takes over, you will see this kind of good news continue.
Like we didn't see
For
it
some
from
time.
you when you took over from 2017.
You forgot. Look, he's like, we are not children.
Take your phone and
we have
Google 2017 how the dollar was behaving.
1992.
No, I'm not. Are you making reference to the dollar?
Disregard their military rule. 1992 to 2000, we have seen them work before. We have seen President Mahama. He's not a new president. We have seen him work already. If you have the magic this in the hand, that whatever he touched, the city goes down. What happened when he left power?
Okay.
So,
all right. Lawyer, end for me, and then Lawyer Janto will have the last take.
No
I'll do
problem.
a few messages, and Lawyer Janto will have the last take. So, Musa says the Chief Justice's decision to involve the Supreme Court in her own misconduct case, especially with representation from a partisan former Attorney General, raises serious concerns. Her actions suggest she's protecting political interests rather than upholding the rule of law, reinforcing suspicions of her involvement and working behind scenes for Akufo-Addo justified the law. is the law. Edi Adam says, I'm shocked. I jumped to a submission this morning. I am imagining if it was under MPP, would he have said the same thing? Is this his double standards that make people believe he speaks for the NDC? Let's be frank with this case. The removal of the Chief Justice has been planned by the NDC. The Jantua hear those statements of the President regarding the Chief Justice. Did he condemn that? Nuti Fafa Godfrey says, maybe this man is paid by the woman organizer. That's why. And Bad Man says, NPP never again and again. And OG says, good morning. All right. So those are some comments that you sent on Facebook. We appreciate you. Continue to send your messages over there. Lawyers, Antoine, let me have you take. Maybe I'll come back and do one WhatsApp message and wrap up.
I would hope that Ishak never puts this rope around his neck again.
He does?
When he goes to court,
when he goes to court, he wears this to court.
Oh.
Is it what he wears to court? I hope he never.
Now you show
he's attacking somebody for wearing rope around their neck.
Say that.
I hope he never.
I
hope
you're not going to respond.
I hope when he's going, he has a to go to court in the UK that he went recently to handle a case. He goes with Batakari. He doesn't wear coat or suit. I don't want to see him wear coat or suit again. Otherwise, I'll tell him he's being hypocritical.
Okay.
How does wearing Batakari change anything? How?
You want all the Batakari?
It's not the import.
How does it stop the imports? When they were in power, how did they handle imports? The poultry industry was on its knees. Tomato industry on its knees.
Feeds for the
we found it difficult. We spent nearly 300 million.
Send me a reminder.
Please, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. We spent nearly 300 million importing tomatoes.
Yes.
So what is he telling us? What is good for the goose is good for the gander. What good of the goose did they do that the gander too also got something out of it? Did they not take us to IMF? He's talking about they came to meet IMF. Wasn't it? It was ludicrous.
Yeah.
For us
the
to
timing.
For us to go back to leave 2024 in IMF.
Then
what did we vote you for? What did we vote you in for? We voted you in for to do what? To make the economy better. Did you make the economy better?
No.
For the first time, pensioners had to pick it. Don't let us go back into that history. We are trying to move forward.
The history
they
must
should concentrate
entirely
Look,
from our
the
books.
MPP, and I keep saying, the MPP at this point should concentrate on building confidence. And you know what he's going to come back to say?
The CPP.
That's where he was going.
Then when he finished, then he will say you are talking for him.
Exactly.
And to correct something, we left the CD at CD to dollar rate was 14.
I'm sorry, no.
No, we went to 17. No,
I'm sorry, no.
We went to 17.
Did you take the 17?
Good morning, Noble team. Please, why is suspended CJ Tokono panicking? What does she have to hide behind the veil that she's scared that it will come out to light? Now, the whole narrative that the NPP government had the CJ in their pocket, it was true by appointing Godfrey Dame as her lawyer speaks to the perception we had all these years. I'm worried for our judicial system. How can you get justice if you're not well connected and have money as ordinary Ghanaians? Nana Kwesi Odame Engina sent him that one. This one says, good morning to all, especially the NDC rep. Look, NPP are not listening from their failures, always scoring political cheap points, thinking that Ghanaians don't know what they are lying to people over now. Governance is a serious business, but not a propaganda. NPP rep has lost the focus. He came and meets, that is 4.2, a double standard and hypocrisy must stop in this country. NPP never again from Big G in Tamale Central sent in that. This one says, good morning, KMJ. I am Yaku Emmanuel from Bechema Duma. I would like to extend my warm regards to my mentor, Honorable Vondee, for his insightful words this morning. The youth look up to leaders like him as role models. The NPP should remain silent and learn from the NDC regarding nation building and managing an economy that was in shambles, but due to their mismanagement. Aban Papa, Abba, best wishes to Honorable Emmanuel Kwame from Pong, MCE for the good people of Tano South. Now, this one over here says, KMJ, NPP man training to provoked Ghanaian, telling us they came and made us happy. I personally thank him. He should personally pay me my allowance from 2016 to 2024. To me, as it's only 7 Ghana cedis a day. He uses my money to buy pure water when going to UK from, and that's from Francis. This one says, That says, good morning, KMJ. Wow, the MPP government had over 8.9 million to the current government. How come the Election Commission of Ghana can't pay its temporal workers they deployed to work during the December 2024 general elections? This is coming from Mensa Edem Accra. This is the second time that we're having people asking if their monies. I think it's something that we have to take a look at. KMJ, what at all is wrong with the MPP? They didn't see anything wrong with the sacking of Charlotte Osei. Why are they shouting their lungs out whenever they sit on television? What at all do they want? Does that mean that the CJ was working for the MPP? They should stop the noise and allow us to enjoy the good governance of President Mahama from what inside Asasatre in Elembele. Okay, another one over here says, Mr. Jantua, don't get too excited about the city's performance. By September, it's predicted to reach 17 Ghana cities.
I'm sorry.
Jantua, Honorable MP, kindly share some policies the finance team implemented that have contributed to the city's current state. And please tell the MP that at January 6, the dollar was not at 17 Ghana cedis, but 14.7 Ghana cedis. Brookman Anobil sent in that. Okay, that was what the lawyer was making the debate on, but let me go to this one. It says, good morning, KMJ. This is a very long one. You see the double standard of people. When the lawyers of NDC represent the petitioners, they do not seem to be working for the NDC. But when the former AG is the lawyer for CJ, he's doing the bidding of NPP. Is this not ridiculous? The reality will catch up with everyone soon. Remember, the president said the economy was criminally mismanaged. But what is he saying today? The NPP will be vindicated from all sectors with time. What the NDC is trying to do in the name of due process is to make the term of the CJ tantamount to that of the president who appoints him or her. After the final removal of the CJ, which is imminent, we will now have 2 arms of government. The entire NDC and the number 1 gentleman in the country, the president, wants her to be removed, and she will be removed, no matter the decision from the so-called political committee. Remind Honorable that MPP never left the dollar to CD at 17 cities. Nana Jantua and double standard is something else. And the least said the better. In 4 months, the good things are done by the current government, but the bad things are to be changed. Laughable. Thanks very much. That's Nanton too. He's always writing theses for us here on the show. This one, Papa Rafa says, watching from Asasewa. KMJ, how can someone put his or her personal interest aside? Come on, that's also important. The law is above everyone, and the government should move according to that. Thanks. Okay, so those are some of the messages you've left for us.
KMJ, we tend to deal with personalities in this country than the law.
Yeah.
If there's a situation where certain personalities are involved, instead of using the law to cure it, we look at personalities before doing the law. And I think that is very bad, and we should try and change it. The law is the law. Let's enforce it. Whoever it is, be president, be it a pauper, the law
has to take it.
Take
course. All right.
Take his course.
Great. I would like to say a big thank you to the guests of this morning. I'm really grateful for your...
Apollo Makin said something the last time that they aren't coming to Parliament until the CJ has been reinstituted.
Oh, is it?
In fact, I just pray and hope that he was joking. But they are insignificant micro minority will do nothing
if they don't show up. All right, that's Honorable David Theophilus Dominic Vondee joining us this morning. He's the MP for Chufu at Mokwa, represented the NDC. Thank you so much, Honorable, for making time for us this morning. Of course, lawyer Ishaq Ibrahim also joined us this morning. Lawyer, he's a lecturer at the UPSA Law.
And he stopped wearing
the MPP.
He won't wear suit again.
No, that one you'll be monitoring, so we'll definitely come back to him again. Lawyer Kwame Jantua is a senior member of the CPP and not the NDC, as many of you think it is. And I'm grateful for your time.
Why did they bring my sister in? My sister isn't here. She's doing her own stuff. So
I'll be off for Newsflash.